Hey, this is Andrew from TechRaptor here. I'm here with Jacob from 11-Bit Studios. We're talking Frostpunk. We'll have an article going up. Actually, it is already up about Frostpunk. If you just want to tell them what is it kind of about, what's the game?
Well, it's a game that asks a very basic question of what society is capable of when it's pushed to the limits. What trade-offs can it make to ensure its own survival. So it's a mix of a city building and or how do we call it, a society building and society survival game. So, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things we talked about yesterday, you said 11-bit kind of builds things around themes. What would you say the central theme of Frostpunk would be?
Well, the central theme will be, what can you sacrifice to make sure that the society as a whole survives, not just any one individual. Now, taking life into account is not always possible to wait one life after versus the other.
Yeah.
But to ensure a society survives in general is a question that we really want to explore here in Frostpunk.
Yeah. And so, along that lines, you take on the role of like a leader of this society.
Exactly.
And what we talked about is you said you could, you kind of like shape the philosophy or like kind of the culture in a way of that group of people.
Yeah, well, what is society, right? Society is not just any random group of people living in the same place. It's a group of people who abides by the same rules, like has similar values at heart, and is governed by the same laws, right? And in Frostpunk, you are the leader making law in the city, right? So the way you shape the laws around the topics such as what's the fate of the children, right? What's the fate of the less fortunate among you? What's the fate of how do we approach work and responsibility? That's all of the areas that you want to shape and take into account when you design the society of the last city on Earth.
Yeah. So along those lines, again, there's kind of like not randomish events that you have to react to and then decide on. Are there any times where it seems a little more obvious, like, oh, I should probably go with this one, but it kind of clashes with that person's playstyle? Is there something like that?
We definitely want you to explore, what kind of leader you would like to be, but at the same time, the core conflict that is really interesting for us to explore is whether you are really willing to sacrifice the values that all of us probably hold, dear, like being fair to people and being, empathetic to people, when you see that the sacrifice would involve actually risking the lives of all of the others in the city, right? Or risking the well-being of the whole community, right? So this is what we want you to take to heart here and explore, right?
Yeah, sure. And so I just switch gears real quick.
Sure.
The other half of it's kind of, well, I don't know if it's half, but what I got the sense of, there's the society management stuff where you're looking at your main city.
Yeah.
And then you also have the exploration part. And so you're telling me this is kind of where you'll kind of learn the world a little bit more and you'll see stuff.
Yeah.
So how active or engaging is the exploration part of it? And so, like, I know you're choosing to go places, figure stuff out. Are you actually doing stuff there? Or is it kind of like waiting for people to get back? Or
we really want you to focus on building and making sure that the last city on Earth survives. So you're focusing squarely on that, but the exploration part is supplemental to that, in the sense that you might have questions of, what happened in this world? Is there anyone still out there that might be able to help you? What do you have to do to survive in the long term at all? Or, resources in your city run out and you have to procure them and you have to do that. But this is all centered around the city. You're doing stuff out there to make sure that the city survives.
Yeah. Okay. So like, what would it's kind of a lot of resource management, people management, putting people places, all that stuff, city building. What would you say like the prime tension that you guys are going for, like the prime thing that you want people to grapple with?
Well, these are these questions about what lengths are you willing to go to? What are you willing to sacrifice, right? What type of society do you think is able to survive in a situation like that? And, for me personally, questions like that, are the trade-offs even worth it at some point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, survival is one thing that we take, if you don't survive, you're all dead. So
that's the end of it.
Yeah, that's the end of it. But at the same time, if you become a monster in the process, I mean, is it really, do you really want to go there, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So there's games somewhat like this out there. Is that kind of what separates you guys? You think your focus on those questions and answering those and making those decisions?
Yeah, well, we are focusing on making an experience that will, hopefully, and when you're done with the game, we really don't want you to feel judged by the game, in the sense that you're playing this and it's a tool for you to actually shape the city, shape the society, to have a good time, in the sense that you're having fun playing the game. But at the same time, when you're done with it, our big hope is that you will think about the events in the game, the decisions that you made, and ask yourself, is it really what I did? Was it really the good choice? What would happen if I went the other way, right?
Yeah. And it seems that you'll have that opportunity because there's lots of different decisions that you can go either way.
Yeah.
So lots of replayability, right?
Replayability, yeah. In the core, gameplay, you have different ways of tackling problems, different ways you can make law in different areas. So you have lots of options and combinations. It's actually, I don't know how many, but there's a lot, right?
Yeah.
And on top of that, we hope that to provide you with a sandbox mode which can actually challenge you in different ways than just in the story mode with the core experience. So you will have a different stimuli to actually explore different types of challenges and directions you might want to take.
All right. And from what I've seen around, is this you're expecting or hoping to see this before the end of the year sometime coming out?
Yeah, we're working really hard to get it done by the end of the year. So probably towards the end of it.
Yeah.
But with us, it's always quality over time, in the sense that if we feel that we need to put in more time to make it a really exceptional experience, then we will do that, basically.
And is it coming to Steam? Is that where people can expect to see it?
Right now we're focusing on PC and Steam and also multi-platform PC release, basically.
Yeah.
But we're not ruling anything out going forward. But for now, the game plays best on PC right now, and that's what we're focusing on.
All right, is there anything else you want to add or let people know about with Frostpunk?
Well, I really hope that you'll enjoy the game, right? In a deeper way than just having clicking around and building stuff, and we really want to focus on bringing some meaningful stuff to you.
For sure. All right, well, we'll have another article. It should already be up by the time this goes up. A lot of this will make more sense what we're talking about. It'll give you context, so make sure to check that out. This is Andrew with TechRaptor again with Jacob from 11-Bit, and thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Great.